embassy in Moscow. An appeal is in the works already, and while it's being heard, Lonetree will start serving his sentence.
The 30-year sentence was handed out despite an emotional appeal for leniency from Lonetree, speaking at the trial for the first time about his work for Soviet intelligence. To the same jury of 8 officers, which had earlier found him guilty, Lonetree described coming from a broken home, years in an orphanage, a father who drank. He fled it all to become a Marine, and he said he cherished the Marines. It's difficult to explain, Lonetree said, how you can turn on your country. He offered no explanation, adding, "I'm not ready to blame anybody." The prosecution asked for the maximum penalty, life, claiming that 9 U.S. intelligence agents were now marked for death by the Soviets because of Lonetree's betrayals. Lonetree's lawyers, who call him a scapegoat for higher-ups, say they will appeal the conviction on the grounds that his confession was obtained illegally by federal investigators.
He is going to appeal, and he's going to appeal vigorously.
It's been a long, hard fight, but this is the first battle. This ain't the war, and we're going on.
In addition to the 30-year prison sentence, which will be served at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, Lonetree was given a dishonorable discharge and fined $5,000. The appeals likely will go on for years, but if the sentence is finally upheld, Lonetree would not be eligible for parole for a decade.
Canada customs officials are becoming increasingly alarmed about the numbers of weapons seized from Americans entering our country. In Victoria, for instance, figures for July show a 100% increase in guns seized compared to the same month last year. Victoria City Police are beginning to take action and prosecute Americans who attempt to bring a concealed weapon into BC. Police in other jurisdictions have been more reluctant to recommend prosecution, and tonight customs officials appeal to police to get tough with gun smugglers. Margot Harper reports.
The Pacific Highway border crossing, where thousands of Americans pour into BC every day. They are welcome, but their weapons are not, and the hunt for gun smugglers is heating up.
It is scary, but a lot of these guns, I would say probably 75% of them, are loaded when they're found in the vehicles and campers of the travelers.
Statistics for summer weapon seizures tell a diverse story. At the Douglas Pacific Highway crossing, weapon seizures in July of 1986 were 35. In July of 1987, 30 guns were grabbed, actually a decrease of 5 weapons. Victoria weapon seizures. In July 1986, 12 guns were seized. In July of this year, 24 were grabbed in Victoria, a 100% increase. And at the tiny crossing of Rooseville, south of Fernie on the Montana border. In July 1986, 16 guns were seized. July of this year saw 26 weapons confiscated, more than a 50% increase.
Now this would be your Saturday night special type of weapon.
The basic, fairly cheap weapon.
Very cheap weapon that would be used in a crime and maybe even thrown away. This is a black powder gun that would fire round balls, similar to ball bearings.
Is that in use very much? Do you see those very often?
No, very few. It's probably an antique weapon. This one here is got quite a barrel on it, sort of like the Wyatt Earp Buntline Special. It would probably fire with the accuracy of a rifle and pack quite a wallop. This is a .44 Magnum.
And it's not just pistols that are grabbed. There are World War II vintage rifles, even an evil-looking German assault rifle.
Automatic.
It's fully automatic. Yes.
So that would fire, what, in rapid succession?
One squeeze of the trigger would fire off the entire clip.
And that weapon is strictly prohibited even in the States?
Yes.
Searches at the border occur routinely, and if a weapon is found, charges are at the discretion of the police. Customs officials say more people should be prosecuted.
More prosecutions would probably lead to greater publicity in the States, and that way we might be able to reach the American visitors before they bring the guns to the border. This would
act as a deterrent.
Yeah, act as a deterrent.
So are Americans indignant about our gun laws? Do they even know what those laws are? Would you think of bringing a gun into Canada yourself?
No, I have no need of it.
You don't carry it in the States?
I haven't even bought any. Canadians are good people and I don't need it.
What about once you're inside Canada? Do you know what the law is then?
No, I don't know.